Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking to our distinguished guest today, Barrister Muid Khan, about the impact of Brexit. Mr. Muid Khan.
Yes, sir.
What is the impact of Brexit? You talked about it briefly. And what are we going to do as a victim if suppose we are victims of hate crimes?
Oh, I see. Thank you. It's a very important question. Many of our viewers, they're victim, but they're suffering in silence. They don't know what to do. But do you know, I mean, in the UK, the government is very kind. There are legislations, there are laws which will protect these victims. What they should, at the first stage, they must report this incident immediately to the police. And also, they should also, they can get their local MP involved. They must wage war against this crime. And it's not that you're going to fight in the battlefield. You'll get together with the other victims, create an awareness. It shouldn't be allowed in this country. Otherwise, divide and rule will destroy this country. Already, as you asked me about the Brexit and the impact, we can see the consequences because of Brexit economy. We have seen the recent forecast is giving a very negative forecast. But I'm very optimistic, and I think in future, very soon, we'll turn our back and we'll become #1 nation within Europe if we remain united. But if we divide ourselves because of this hate crime, hate incidents, we'll only dig our graveyards. That shouldn't be allowed in this country. This is my opinion.
In this post-Brexit or post-referendum economic condition, don't you think that people, I mean, I know that you are suggesting that victims should report, but the reason is that people feel that they are under, some people think that they are under pressure because of the economic conditions. So they take it out on whatever person is available who looks different. And in this case, maybe a hijabi person, maybe a bearded person, maybe a person with a turban, maybe a person with foreign-looking person, or in a foreign dress. You see.
Right.
Do you think that we have to adopt to different circumstances, like we have to change ourselves?
Of course not. Whatever is your own identity, you must retain your own identity. Rather, education, awareness. There should be more cooperation among the different communities. The different communities should get involved. They should understand, like we Muslims, we should go and get involved with the Christians. Christians, they should come and get involved with the Muslims. Likewise, vice versa, Jewish, Hindus. And
we should be more open.
Exactly, more open, and there should be discussion, open discussion about different religion, different culture. As I told you earlier, we are living in a global village. If something happens in one part, you'll have the consequence in the other part.
It's reported.
Yeah, exactly, like the hijabi girl who was being attacked. It could be one hijabi girl, but she represents the entire British Muslim community. That should never happen. Otherwise, what this Muslim community will feel, if they're not well protected, they'll feel alienated. And they'll not work towards developing this country. This should never be allowed. This is my opinion.
So this is not only the
I'm just giving one example, and vice versa, like the other communities as well. We all should get involved. A Hindu should not remain silent simply because it was an attack on a Muslim girl.
Right.
A Jewish should not remain silent because this is happening in everywhere. All those communities should get together.
We are in it together.
Get their MPs together and ask the government to take very effective steps to stop this from happening.
Right.
Otherwise, because of the Brexit, we'll exit from the economic development. We cannot let that happen. We need growth in our economy.
So it's not just the government, but also the
common people as well. Yeah.
Common people and the major political parties. They have a
more responsibility. Of course, of course. You have touched the right point. You'll see, if you look at the political parties, what they're doing nowadays, they're not touching the right issues. What they're doing, they're just trying to play a blame game against each other. But this Islamophobia, and then hate crime, and then after the Brexit, the economy, the problem the economy is facing, this should be the main issue. Political debate should be there so that we can move forward, we can see the real picture, but this is not happening. And as a defender of human rights and fundamental freedom, that hurts me a lot.
Right. I have a lot of questions for you, but
please, I think because of the discussion, you have got so many questions, but there's so many touchy issues that is hurting your heart, I think. Am I right or wrong?
There is another issue of not just people from the European Union,
yes,
but European Economic Area.
Yes.
See. And there is a question, the permanent right of residence shall be acquired by EEA, which is European Economic Area nationals, and their non-EEA family members once they have resided in the UK for 5 years continuously or less in certain circumstances in accordance with EEA, which is European Economic Area regulations. See. So they are being treated like not just non-EU, but they are being treated like other residents coming over from other countries, like Asian countries.
All right. Oh, I think the principle that you're touching is freedom of movement, the European treaties principle, under which it's not only the European Economic Area countries, but also the countries, 28 member states, European Union member states, all the nationals, they enjoy these treaty rights. And now imagine UK is only one developed country within the European Union. And if the nationals
I think the Germans will dispute that statement that UK is the only developed country.
No, one of the developed countries. Thank you very much for rephrasing my words. I'm rephrasing my words. One of the developed countries within the European Union. Now imagine, if all the nationals of the European Union countries from these 27 member states, they start migrating to the UK because there's a better life here, and then all their non-EEA members, family members from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, you name, from other countries, if they start applying, what will happen to this country?
True.
Fatal consequences will happen, and our border is open. It's no longer secured. You never know, under the name of freedom of movement, how many criminals are entering into the UK, how many pedophiles are entering into the UK unchecked. And you see all those sophisticated crimes are being taking place nowadays, which we have never seen. Recently, my sister's car was stolen, my brother's car was stolen, and you'll see the burglaries are happening in everywhere. We don't want that to happen. We must control our border.
They're very sophisticated burglars.
Yeah, exactly, and they are not from non-European member states. And if you look recent crime data, you'll find these are, I'm not going to refer the names, but these are the underdeveloped European Union countries. Why I said underdeveloped? They're not within European, as you said, economic area. They're not a part of the economic area, but they are developing European countries. Why should we suffer with those crimes? Of course, there should be an effective border control, and I salute Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister, Theresa May. She said, Brexit means Brexit. Whatever happens, we'll sacrifice for the better future of our British nationals and our British economy. As you know, you asked me about the consequences. It will bring more glory for us. We will frame our own law, legislations, rules, regulations. Our Supreme Court will remain supreme. And its decision cannot be overturned by the European Court of Justice. And then we'll have effective control of our border. And whatever problems is happening nowadays, I hope if the government is going to implement a very strict immigration rules, we'll be able to stop those problems, those crimes.
But there's a fear among so many people, particularly businessmen, that we might be secluded out of Europe, see.
Okay. Well, whenever there's any change, you'll find that some fairness works. Remember in 1971, when Bangladesh separated from Pakistan, how would common Bangladeshis, they felt, oh, are we going to survive? But now what's happening? Bangladesh is much better than the Pakistanis now. Whenever there's any change, you'll have an aftershock. This aftershock now we're experiencing. But you'll see very soon we'll overcome from that aftershock. And Britain will lead by examples. You might ask me how, like say Brexit, through the Brexit, how to, come out through the Brexit. Britain will leave an example for the other European countries if they feel that the principles and policies of the European Union is harmful for their economic interest, for their national interest. So we could lead the European Union by examples.
Inshallah, we will.
Yes.
There is another very interesting topic and very close to my heart and probably yours too.
Yes.
That this Bangladeshi diaspora.
Yes.
In Britain, in European countries.
Yes.
and in the United States. The first set of migrants who came were economic migrants, you see, our forefathers.
Yes.
And they came here for different reasons, and they worked hard. And but their second and third generation migrants, they have done very well. Do you think that we are going to get better and better, or the circumstances will compel us again for the love of our own country will go back, or we are part of this global village now?
I think in this area, of course, in terms of our identity, whoever are British will inherit Bangladeshi nationality. But we're living in Britain now. Our ultimate focus would be to develop this country. As you said that we have achieved a lot. No, we have to achieve a lot more. Like, as I'm from legal profession, there are highly talented legal professionals are there. I expect, even though I have won this award, as you showed me very highly respect at the beginning of the program, but I expect from us, from legal community, from among the next generation, we'll have in future, law minister, we'll have, attorney general, we'll have Lord Chief Justice from Bengali community, even though Bengali, but British, will work to develop this country. And at the same time, as our identity is from Bangladesh, we'll also try to develop that country as well as a part of moral obligation. And this is how I'll give my input.
Well, inshallah. On that very, very sweet and optimistic point, I would like to request you to address our audience. And probably some young lawyers are watching us, and they would like to be encouraged by you more.
Oh, thank you very much. Dear viewers, you must have seen me normally in my show. I sit as a guest, sorry, as a host. But today it is a very difficult situation for me to sit as a guest. For you, what I'll say, especially for the young lawyers and those who wants to establish good footage in their lifetime, in their legal practice, whatever is the target, whatever hurdles you face, try your level best. Work with honesty, dignity, and provide the best possible service, and success will be there for you, waiting for you. And at the same time, the other victims of hate crime and also victims of forgery or any other crimes, don't suffer in silence. Police, report this to the police. Bring those criminals before justice and make sure those criminals are being punished. And at the same time, you are highly talented and you are an icon for Bangladeshi community. I'm giving you thanks for inviting me into this show. I'm giving thanks to the family members of NTV, especially to my dear sister Sabirna Apu and Babu Bhai for inviting me and arranging this special show. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you very much for being with us. It was a pleasure and an honor, Mr. Muid.
Thank you very much. It was a great honor for me as well.
Great honor for us, and it was a pleasure. Thank you for being with us, viewers. I hope that you have enjoyed the show as much as we have. Next week, same time, same channel. We meet again. Until then, enjoy the weekend and take care of yourself and your environment. Bye for now.